Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Christian Fuchs to review today. I already did the intro for this, but I completely screwed it up. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a very interesting card here. I'm very fortunate enough to get onto the servers right now because apparently for North Americans, it's not affecting us, but for European dudes, it is, right? So, it is what it is. At least I could get this review out for you guys. So, with Christian Fuchs' card, ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at a card that is 6'2" with medium work rates, left-footed on the left side, right? 3-star skill moves, 2-star weak foot. So, in regards to his base card stats, he looks like he could make a really good center back, right? Especially on 7 chemistry. And we're going to be taking a look at that here in a bit. But in regards to his specific stats, we have 88 acceleration with 88 sprint speed. So it could be something that you may want to improve if he's anywhere in your defensive area, right? Like for the left back position or the left center back position. He can shoot the ball, right? 62 finishing is not terrible for a center back, and he does have 90 shot power, so definitely compensates really well just in case the ball kind of lands to him on the corner kicks or whatnot. He can pass the ball really nicely, so that in the left back position or even the center back position is going to be really nice with the 86 composure that he has. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the weak foot, but it's obvious that he's very strictly left foot oriented. Dribbling could be something that you may want to improve on the card, right? So we're going to be testing out a few things here. We're going to see what his defensive presence is like pushing up and coming back on the defense whenever he does, because with the medium work rates, we need to test out and see if those +5s for defensive awareness is a mandatory thing for him to come back, right? Because we're going to be trying him out on basic first. But you could also consider giving him an engine chemistry style, because if you give him an engine chemistry style, you'd be giving him a +10 for balance, +5 for agility, +5s for acceleration, sprint speed. And with that being said, you already have decent defense and perfect physical, right? So the stamina, not really a huge deal. Now, because the stamina is 78, that's where I strictly see this card being used as a center back, right? You don't necessarily want to have a left back with medium work rates that's going to have 78 stamina, because your left backs and right backs are going to be moving a lot, regardless of whether or not you tell him to stay back while attacking, right? So I would definitely take that into consideration, that if you do want to use this card, I would say to strictly use him as a center back, because he's 74 agility with 72 balance with a shadow chemistry style, which is what I want to show you guys over here. On 7 chemistry, you get really significant stat boosts for defense and for physical, but take a look at what it looks like on 7 chemistry, right? You're still giving him really good boosts on the card in regards to a defensive increase and as well as a pace increase, right? So a shadow could be an ideal situation if you want to use him as a center back starting off on 7 chem as a player that's going to be there. Because in this team right here, what I could actually do, because this would actually be a really good combo between him and David Luiz, is like this. So I have another left back over here, Kieran Tierney, right? So if we were to use him and I were to switch out Hierro, oh, we can't switch out Hierro because of what's his face there. But let's just say, for instance, I want to put Christian Fuchs over here, right? And I wanted to take out David Luiz. Christian Fuchs over here would start off on 7 chemistry with the right manager, obviously. And that on 7 chemistry, like I said, would look like this on Footbin, right? But it would look like this in the team where he's starting off as a center back. Now, again, we're not going to be doing that. We want to start him off on full chemistry here. So we're going to go ahead and put David Luiz back into the team. The way that we are going to be lined up in game is going to look like this. We're going to have him in a nice little 4-2-3-1 and on pressure on heavy touch. I want to see what he's like pushing forward, coming back with a 78 stamina on left back position, which will be very small, because I strictly see this card being used as a center back in a 3 at the back formation or a 4 at the back formation. So we're going to be starting him off as a left back in the 4-2-3-1 just to see what he's like pushing up, dribbling, all that fun stuff, right? And then after that, we are going to force the defending out of him with players that are going to be super aggressive, with the 2 center backs to play as a striker for Sergio Ramos and for Hierro, but Christian Fuchs will stay back while attacking, because I need to see what he's like marking when I'm not second man pressing, what he's like if I switch to him, does he accelerate quick enough into the space with the agility and balance. All that kind of stuff you need to test out with the card, right? So don't worry about the positioning of the players. It's not really relevant to this for the situation right now. It's just for the sake of the review. So what I have to test out in-game first is whether or not that dribbling stats, or those dribbling stats that he has with a 93 reactions, 92 ball control, and 86 dribbling, if that's good enough for how he plays in game. Now, again, mostly ideal as a center back, but we're going to see how he plays in the left back, and then we will transition him to the center back, and then maybe in the second half we'll switch to the 3 at the back just to really test out the cards. So let's get into a game and see how he plays. This is an interesting team to come up against. The team doesn't really matter because we're just going to try out the card anyway, so we might try at some point. We'll see what's up. Okay, so we're going to switch to the attacking first. We're going to be using the 4-2-3-1. Let's see how my boy dribbles on the ball.
And what we have coming up for you is a rivals game to look forward to. Lee, this ought to be special. Thanks, Derek.
Yeah, his dribbling is actually solid. I don't think you need to improve it, even in the left back position, in all fairness. Try that again. Gameplay is like okay right now too, but even regardless, you can still tell when a player is super sluggish. Okay, so I can confirm that his dribbling feels better than I thought it was going to feel, so that's actually a really huge plus. Let's force a run out of him here. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to lose the ball right here. Going to give the ball away. See how Fuchs transitions back right there? Very, very quickly, actually. So even with the medium work rates, those parts right there, that's where you're going to really notice someone's stamina depleting really quickly. But even on medium, he still transitions like really quickly back, which is fantastic, obviously. So very, very happy about that so far. His marking in this situation is actually quite solid. He's marking him pretty nicely. Starts marking the other guy really nicely too. Okay. Yeah, I thought his dribbling was going to be worse. I thought it was going to be worse. It doesn't feel that bad, actually. Like, the gameplay is not bad right now, but even if it's, like, really good, you could still tell when someone is sluggish, right? Like, even Sergio Ramos feels a little, tiny bit heavier than Fuchs' card right now. But, yeah, Fuchs actually moves kind of nicely. Those little small dribbles, like, obviously the skills are not going to be that fast, but he plays the left-back position really nicely so far. Obviously, the lack of stamina that he doesn't have can present to be a problem from time to time, but, you know, stays in his position as well. Let's see what happens once we start to transition upwards here. Or we're going to go downwards now. Okay, so Fuchs will occupy that spot right away. Pushes up, comes back instantly, which is nice. We'll use a physical to our advantage right here. Yeah, his left stick dribbling is not bad. You could still tell that his balance and agility is not necessarily the greatest, but let's move David Luiz over here to the bottom side and watch Fuchs transition back. A little bit of a jog right now, but he's still running back regardless, which is fantastic. He's going to get back into position here soon. Should have been able to defend against that perfectly, but EA doing EA things. Yeah, so far in the left back position, he looks incredibly usable. I think a big thing with this card is obviously going to be the fact that he is tall, has the physical presence, does transition back pretty quickly. Probably not as good as someone that is on high work rates with more pace, but then again, I don't have the shadow chemistry style on the card either, and he seems to be playing the position really well. So that's like the main thing that we obviously need to see. He's doing all the basic stuff that a fullback needs to do. Now what I want to see is how he defends when we are using... I'm actually going to use David Luiz here. Yeah, we'll use David Luiz there just for the sake of the review. We'll use Fuchs as a center back with medium work rates. It should be very interesting to see. So because his dribbling is actually not that bad as a left back, I really think that on 7 chemistry with the shadow chemistry style in the middle, this guy looks like he has a lot of potential there. So let's use him there. We'll play semi-seriously and then we'll see what's up. He's in line with the other center back really well, really nicely so far. Again, medium works really nicely for most center backs, so should be a good thing to have regardless. Should be a near post strike right there. Nice shot with Paqueta. Paqueta was a really cool card. I hope you guys did it because he's very usable in this game. Look at Paqueta, man. This guy's a sick cam. Okay, so now we'll switch to team press here because I want to see what he's like with the aggression, coming back in defense without the pace boost on the card. So yeah, now we're going to go ahead and experiment with that. So again, no second man press right here. Marking the player really nicely. If we switch to him to go and chase after the player here, transitioning is very solid with him. So he moves left and right really nicely. And I think it'll be even better with the acceleration and sprint speed boost so far. Okay, we'll let him attack here a little bit. Christian Fuchs marking the player really nicely. Starts marking the guy close, which is good because David Luiz as a CDM started to go into the center back position because Fuchs went downward. So that's a good rotation policy with the players right there. Fuchs understands that the nearest danger is the player to the edge of the 18-yard box, and he defends really well there, to be honest. Yeah, once you get Messi on his left foot finesse, that's it. Okay, so let's just see how in line he is with over here in the center back position. Mediums, not touching anything. Rotation policy with the left back, but still maintains the middle position really well and defends that opportunity again without any sort of defensive boost on the chemistry style. Still does a really, really good job right there. So we can see so far that with the base stats of his card, he's still defending really nicely with the basic chemistry style. So you can obviously tell that with the shadow chemistry style, the dribbling boost doesn't really feel like it's a huge necessity on the card. But I do think that a shadow to increase his acceleration and sprint speed in certain positions would be an incredibly beneficial thing, because you could see here just the way that he's marking this one player, starts marking that next player over there, maintains the middle, is still in the left center back position, super aggressive right there. He's choosing his battles really nicely, because in those situations, if I were to switch to him to be able to defend those situations, he will be in a good position to be able to block instantly. So that good aggression that he has, and then that transition backwards that he has, is really, really nice so far. So it's a cool card, man. He feels like a very good hybrid between a left back and a left center back. So that's obviously amazing to have, because if I wanted to switch to a 3 at the back formation, I would be able to do that, right? Which would be obviously incredible. Yeah, the way he's playing off of my other center back right now is perfect. So you can see that the dribbling that he has in that center back position and positions like this is really nice. And you can see that his height, right, as well as his decent body type in game, going to be very, very helpful, right? Passes across like this. It's going to be really nice, to be honest. It's like a Sergio Ramos situation, right? Like that moment's Ramos is a disgusting center back, but he's a right back, right? So it's just one of those situations. So again, no second man press right here. Let's go ahead and switch to him. Chase after the ball right here. Decent defending right there. Again, off the ball movement is really good. Understands where the danger is. I think that with that shadow chemistry style is definitely the best choice for this card so far. Let's give it away there. Marking back into the left center back position. He was all the way at the bottom at one point. Still marking that one guy right there. Pushes down a little bit, pushes down a little bit, starts to transition back into the middle really quickly. He has a huge rotation policy with the other players, so you can see that Sergio Ramos actually starts to go into the middle as well once Fuchs starts to transition to the left side, which is perfectly fine, right? As long as all the players are being marked and he doesn't have that extra attacking presence on the side, it's really good. So a little bit of aggression with Fuchs, which is nice, because if I were to switch to him in that position, he would already be well positioned to defend that opportunity, which is great. Let's switch to the 3 at the back formation now, and let's see what he plays like being a sole center back, depending on the way that the person attacks against me. Marks the player here, no second man press. Goes into the shooting space instantly. You see that? That's really good. That's really, really good, because the person behind him was going to be in an offside position, and he understood that, so he went instantly into the shooting lane so that he didn't have that great of a shot off, or he received pressure from the defender, which is perfect, right? Manually defending with him right now. Nice. Very, very nice. Gets into position really quickly. Transition was really fast right there. I even overcommitted a tackle just so I can get into the second tackle with him. And nice little fake shot right there. And, you know, he did a really good job of transitioning to the top to the bottom instantly, which is great. No second man press right here. Starts to mark the middle really nicely. Fake shot from Sun. He starts marking the other guy up top, while the CDM starts occupying the guy in the middle. So it's moving really nicely so far, man. As a center back, he's great. As a left back, he feels very usable, because I thought his dribbling would have been worse, but it's not. So very, very good. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. You see how he marks him really well, and then in that situation, once I switch to him, I can just get the ball easily. That's the good thing with center backs that mark players really nicely, is the moment that I switch to them, I can actually defend really nicely. In line with the other center back really nicely right here without any center backs. Goes onto the player a little bit, puts a little bit of pressure, but then goes back. No second man press. Yeah, his marking is really good. He plays that medium work rate, works perfectly with his... it works perfectly with the center back next to him. It's just a nice work rate to have next to any type of work rated center back, like high highs, medium highs, you know. He'll play really well next to them. It's always a really balanced work rate to have next to any of those center backs. All right, guys, so final verdict on Fuchs' card. He's pretty solid to use in all fairness, right? In the left back position, I thought his dribbling was actually going to be worse, but it isn't actually that bad. And it may be because his ball control and reaction is actually quite high, considering the fact that his agility, balance, and height is not really good to have together because agility and balance is not really high enough. However, his height as well as his physical presence is actually a welcome one. He actually plays the left back position quite nicely, passes the ball obviously very nice because of his base card stats being awesome. However, I don't recommend getting this card if you want to use him specifically at left back because of the fact that he has 78 stamina. If you don't notice the stamina that much, that's not really that big of a deal to you. However, on top of that, if you were to start off this card on 7 chemistry in the center back position, where you can have a rotation policy between making him your left center back in a 3 at the back formation, left center back in a 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, or you're playing him at left back depending on the situation of your team. Maybe you want to use your left back as your center back or your CDM as your center back, one of those types of situations. He's going to be a good rotational player to have. Also, he could potentially be okay to use in the left mid position if you choose to give him an engine chemistry style because of the agility and balance increase on the card. So it really just depends on how you want to use the card. If you decide to spend 200k to get this card, just know that he may not be super ideal to have in the left back position, but I think you'll be looking at a very, very good card playing in that center back position on 7 chemistry with the shadow chemistry style. So, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this review today. I'm sorry this one took a while. The servers were all sorts of wonky today. So, yeah, I'll catch you guys for the next video. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.